Bawib Grana Weep Ninibong, I'm Engineer Hoist, and welcome to our weekly Transformers Earth Wars news stream. We've got a pretty good show for you tonight. We've got some new bots coming this weekend, and do actually have Rotorstorm, at least in the test account. We'll take a look at him in action, and we'll cover what's going on in the event. No crystals this week, believe it or not. I kind of took last weekend off, so I didn't really have a whole lot to hang on to crack tonight. And do have a few new toys. Well, really one to show off once we get done with all of that. And we got a lot of great community content coming up here too. I see Bricks Motion is in the chat, so I'm glad to see that you're here because we've got a lot of your stuff. It's fantastic. You guys will see when we get to it. Hello to Super VH, Fitz19, PB Chew, Alpha Tryon, James Vega, a couple of our channel members. Kato's Collection, good to see you. Oktar, Gen 1 Red Alert, and let's see, the cake is Luca the coolest bird and Rebecca the coolest bird. Okay, so we need to unpack that name. You can't have two coolest birds. You guys got to pick amongst yourselves. I'll just refer to you as Luca for short. Thank you for being here, and welcome to everybody. How about we go ahead and talk about some Transformers Earth Wars news. Oh, by the way, if you happen to be watching the replay, we record live Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube here. This weekend's event is called Impending Doom. And the new bots Rotorstorm and Spinister are joining the ranks. Gather your alliance to take part in this weekend's event to win up to 100,000 of each of the 3 different types of spark, and 100 Impending Doom crystals with a chance to win 3 or 4-star Rotorstorm or Spinister, or crystal or character shards. We've been seeing this type of event quite a few times. It's a Alliance Prestige event. Starts at the usual Friday start time, ends at the usual Monday stop time. There are 100 Prestiges, which you probably could have figured from the fact that there's 100 crystals, and it's Super XP throughout the event. You got to be headquarters level 4 and be an alliance, and you hit the yellow event button, pick your zone, pick your battle, win the points, and collect your prizes. Standard battle zones, and there's what you can expect to earn during each of the 100 prestiges. Spark, then different spark, then different spark, and then a crystal. Every 2,500 points as your alliance, you guys are earning a prize. Very cool. And there's a breakdown of what you find in the Impending Doom crystals. It's exactly the same percentages as we've seen in these most recent chance events. 25% chance to win something related to the new bots, either the 3 or the 4-star, or 100 character shards, and 25% chance for 4-star shards, 30% chance for 3-star shards, and 20% chance for some premium shards. And that's basically it for the event, but hey, let's take a look at the new bots we're going to be getting. First up for the Autobots is Rotorstorm. Rotorstorm loves to be the center of attention, and if that means being creative with just how powerful or fearless or indispensable he is, so be it. He'll tell you he's admired and feared in equal measure by the Decepticons and coveted as a member by every Autobot subteam going up to and including the Wreckers. Cut through all the hyperbole, though, and Rotorstorm really is quite an exceptional all-around warrior, with advanced technology that lets him eavesdrop on adversaries and a dodge sense that warns him of incoming fire. His only real weakness is having to live up to the legend he's created for himself. And as usual, if I happen to have the figure that the game is based it on, I show it here. And there you go, you can see a side-by-side comparison of what is in the game. And he was a Generation Selects figure from, I don't know, a year or 2 ago. And yeah, so there you go. They pretty much hit all the high points on the figure. As usual, they've done a great job of translating the toy into the game. It's a very cool figure, Lorimus Prime. If you can find him, I highly recommend it. The mold itself, whether it's Spinister or Rotorstorm, is fantastic, and the colors of Rotorstorm in particular are really cool. So, we do all this already. We know this. But the ability is new. So this is a pretty cool ability. It's called Rocket Cascade. For 20 seconds, you hover and fire long-range rockets, dealing damage per second. For each of your targets that are destroyed, you deal 30% bonus damage up to a maximum of 370% bonus damage. If you happen to read the newsletter, it was mentioned, I think Texas Hammer is one of the playtesters, says it's kind of like a aerial Sentius Magnus or Sentius Malus, and it really is. It works almost the same exact way. It's just he's a helicopter instead of a spider tank, and he shoots rockets instead of fires blasters, but it really works very, very much the same way, and I think he's pretty cool. I think you guys are going to like him a lot. We'll get to the in-game action here in a moment. His counterpart is Spinister, the original use of the mold. Spinister was just forged sneaky. Often the earliest warning you get of his aerial approach is the whine of an incoming fusion bomb or the crackle of his beam cannon. Many believe he has developed bespoke cloaking technology that he refuses to share with his fellow Decepticons. Whatever the case, Spinister delights in catching his prey unawares and with no time to deploy countermeasures. Grim, taciturn, he exudes a sense of mystery that helps perpetuate the dread others feel in his presence. The jury's out on whether he's really a genius savant or just ignorant and obstinate. Okay, so let me see if I can do this without adjustment, and let's go over here, and hey, pretty good. Rotorstorm's kind of in the frame a little bit there still. So there is Spinister. Came out in the Siege line as part of the normal retail release, and was an immediate favorite of mine. I still happen to have my original G1 Spinister toy, and for whatever reason, always kind of had a fondness of the character. I mean, just the name itself, Spinister, is just a really cool play on words. And so there he is. I have enhanced mine with some Toy Hacks labels, so you'll see that he's got a little bit of extra silver on his arms and thighs there, and a little bit extra on the shoulder. And I don't know why the camera keeps going in and out of focus, but hopefully it's not too bad for you. But yeah, so there is Spinister, so you can compare the in-game and the toy that it is based on. Pretty cool. Again, highly recommend the figure. If you don't actually have them. So, moving back on with the slides, and his ability is exactly the same. It's called the same thing. It even has the same icon, at least according to the newsletter. For 20 seconds, hover and fire long-range rockets dealing damage per second. For each of your targets that are destroyed, you deal 30% bonus damage up to a maximum of 370% bonus. So there you go. Okay, so now 5-star bots. We talked about them last week, and in fact, I had the honor of being able to announce Brainstorm and Skyhawk right here on the stream last week. And in the meantime, we already knew of 2 of them. I announced the 3rd, and in the meantime, the other 2 were announced on Sunstreaker Waza and Skywarp Greer streams. So now we can give you the entire list of what's going to be in the next 5-star crystal. For the Autobots, you have Skylinks, Red Alert. These 2 were the fan votes. Brainstorm, Pipes, and Slash. And as was pointed out in the newsletter, and I knew it already right away, Slash practically was a fan vote because it was a very, very close behind Skylinks. It was really close running between Skylinks and Slash. I personally myself voted for Slash, so I'm very happy to see Slash and Ripper Snapper show up. Decepticons, Blitzwing, Runamuck, Skyhawk, Headstrong, and Ripper Snapper. If you are able to translate between Autobot and Decepticon, because as we know, they all have identical counterparts on one side or the other. So there you go. And yeah, very, very cool. I think this is a pretty good 5-star batch. Probably not the best out there. I think that's still going to be probably batch 7 or 4, I think, are still probably the top 2 batches. But with Slash and Ripper Snapper and Skylinks and Blitzwing being in here, definitely makes this a pretty strong batch. And the others, Red Alert, Run Amok, Brainstorm, Skyhawk, Pipes, Headstrong, while they may not be superstars, they're still pretty darn good. And yeah, so overall, I'd say there's definitely 2 winners and 3 okays in this batch. So there you go. That's the 5-star batch, and they say the new 5-star bots will be in the new crystal will be out tomorrow. If you're watching live tomorrow, otherwise it'll be today, or it already has happened if you're watching the replay at some point. Basically, this December 16th, And right around when they do the content push, I'm not sure what it is UTC, but it's about 10 to 10 a.m. to noon sometime Eastern time. So there you go. Pretty close to the time that they usually stream. I'm not sure if they're streaming tomorrow, but it's usually right around the time that the stream is when they do the content push. And so there you go. I'm not sure if that legacy crystal is going to appear immediately, or it might take some time. Usually it's taken at least a few days before the current batch ends up in the next legacy crystal. They didn't really say in the newsletter, so I just leave it on here. It'll be in the future. Even if the future is just a handful of seconds, it's still the future. So there you go. And that's basically all the news I'm going to report from the newsletter. I suppose one thing I was going to put in, but I forgot, was if you happen to have a Titan, which I still don't, and you did not get the 3-star Titan part, they are going to make that 3-star part available. And surprisingly, you only have to save up 3-star shards. They're going to say you have to save a bunch of them. There's 20,000, but 20,000 3-star shards for the Titan 3-star part. So no Shanix, no anything else like that, but it is a bunch of 3-star shards, and that's fine, because as it is, if I were to get to that point, especially on my Autobot account, I have all of the 3 stars. If I get a 3-star crystal, it just means I'll just be getting guaranteed duplicates. Well, now I'm just going to save up my 3-star shards, so if and when I ever do get a Titan, I'll be that much closer to getting the 3-star part for him. So I would definitely recommend that to you. Don't waste your 3-star shards on guaranteed duplicate 3-star crystals. Save them up for when you happen to get a Titan. The last thing you want to do is get the Titan, then have to start saving. Go ahead and start saving now if you can. So, Volcanicus already has a 3-star upgrade. Well, if you already have a 3-star upgrade, then you don't have to worry about it. Go ahead and keep spending those 3-star shards on those duplicate crystals. Okay, so Community Corner, we're going to start off with the mainstay from the past few streams. Mr. Creeper doing a nice edited photo there. He's got Galvatron, Scourge, and Cyclonus. All the recent figures. Galvatron from the Kingdom line, Scourge from the Studio Series line, and Cyclonus actually from the Kingdom line as well. It's also got Nemesis Prime, and I love that Rodimus Unicronus toy. That, for whatever reason, wasn't a big fan of that Power of the Primes, Rodimus Prime, but man, when they turned him black and called him Rodimus Unicronus, I don't know why. I mean, I had no intention of getting it. I saw that thing on the shelf. It happens way too often, by the way. No intentions of getting something, then I see it on the shelf and it leaves the store with me. But I gotta say, I love it. I love that Rodimus Unicronus figure, and very cool to see that there. Thank you for Mr. Creeper. And I think the theme here, really, you kind of see from the little symbol there, is these are like Unicron's minions there. So, very cool picture. Thank you. In a similar vein, I don't know if you guys planned this, but PB Chew also went and built up Galvatron's squad. So you got Galvatron there. You also have Cyclonus and his armada off on the one side, and Scourge and a couple of sweeps on the other. The amazing thing about this is, being in Minecraft, I'm pretty sure you can't just copy and paste. So you actually built 2 separate Cyclonus characters and 3 sweeps, 3 Scourges. So very cool. Excellent work as always, PB Chew. Really appreciate all the work and effort you do. And you can kind of see the Dragon Megatron in the back, and the Armada Megatron as well too. So many cool things. And next up, we're going to be okay. We've got Bruticus here sharing the OG Beast Wars Megatron and Rampage, so that's pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure he's got that Rampage balanced up against the wall, because every time I've seen that figure, he's very back heavy because of those massive claws. He's either leaned up against the wall, or the claws are down on the ground helping support him. So since he's got the claws up on the shelf, I'm pretty sure he's leaned up against the wall. You know, not meant to be a slight. It's pretty cool. So yeah, really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Bruticus. And yeah, next up, okay, here we go. Bricks Motion. Okay, so first of all, these are amazing. These are Transformers done in Lego, and if I'm not mistaken, these are transformable. You can actually transform them from one mode to the other. The second thing I want to say is he shared a lot more than what I've got showing here. And if you go over to the Discord, there's a link in the description. Go to the stream submissions channel. Normally when I create these slides, I clear out the stream submissions, but because I left so many on the floor, I figured I would leave them up there for probably at least another week. So go over there to the stream submissions channel and just look through everything that got posted is amazing. But I decided I pulled off a few of my favorites, including right here. What we got is Skull Cruncher and Brainstorm, probably my two favorite headmasters. I had both of these figures as a kid. I still have the Brainstorm, and I have just the tail of Skull Cruncher from my G1 childhood days. So very cool. Next up, we've got the Seekers, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. Pretty cool. Very cool. And I figured we'd go ahead and finish off the Seekers with the Coneheads. I love how you got all of these guys in the alt modes, all with the different wing styles. That's one of the neat things about the Coneheads. I mean, the first Seekers, it was all just straight repaints. These guys, they're basically the same figure, essentially, but different wings, and definitely makes them more unique than the originals. Yeah, but very well done, very well done. And I love this Omega Supreme, so cool. And at first, when I was first looking at them, I was thinking that okay, so he built two different ones, one in the robot mode, one in the alt mode. And if you're telling me these things actually transform, it just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. So very cool. These are what the Creo sets should have been. If you remember back a few years ago, I've got a bunch of them, and honestly, I want to get rid of them because they're just taking up space. But Creo was the Hasbro version of Lego, essentially, and you could take the set and you could build either the robot or you could disassemble it and then build the vehicle. You couldn't transform it, and so if you could actually transform these, you did better than Hasbro was able to. So very cool. I also wanted to throw in some Beast Wars love and get Monkey Prime in here. Really cool. Yeah, at first you would think this was probably the easiest one to be able to get to transform, but there might have been some extra challenges in there that we don't know about. So also this was a Double Crosser. I think they call him, what is it, Twinferno now? Very cool. Definitely one of the ones that really stood out to me and caught my eye. And this one is where I started to definitely believe that you could transform, because if you look at like the belly of the dragon alt mode, you can kind of see the parallel with that and the legs of the bot mode. So that's where I was like, holy cow, you really can transform these things. Not that I didn't believe you, it was just, I mean, well, it's unbelievable only in the fact that it's amazing. But yeah, so very cool. Not a slight at this. I'm just saying it's really cool. And then we got Gigawatt, or Gigawatt, however you want to pronounce it. I like to say Gigawatt, although I catch myself saying Gigawatt anyway because that is the pronunciation. So very cool. The obviously the Back to the Future crossover. Very cool. And we got Blur. I brought Blur in here mostly because he's a fairly recent bot that he had on that list. Just what can I say? It's cool. It's amazing. Fantastic. Too many adjectives. I mean, any adjective that you can come up with that equates to good, it fits. And I loved this one here too. You got Bumblebee and Spike with the little minifig with the construction hat and all that. So very cool. The two troublemakers, the two characters in G1 that always ruined every mission for the Autobots, because when they were told to stay back at the base, they didn't. They went out to try to help, but only ended up becoming a liability. So there you go. But still, very cool. And thank you. Again, if you want to see more from Bricks Motion, we've got the more pictures there in the stream submissions channel. And I should have asked if you got an Instagram or anything like that. If you do, just let us know. And see where we can find more from you. And that's going to do it for the stream. If you happen to be watching somewhere other than YouTube, there's the link. Come on over, youtube.com/engineerhoist. Wednesdays 8 p.m. Eastern is where we record live. And also want to give a great thank you to all of my channel members for your support, as well as the moderators. Thank you for helping out and keeping things in line, both in Discord and here on YouTube in the chat. And speaking of the channel members, I see JK Prime joined us, so welcome. Good to see you again. And yeah, so there's that done. And which bot is good for Alchemist Prime Core? Well, they did. Speaking of these guys, in fact, let's go. I was just gonna go here. Let's bring these guys both back in here. So our new bots here, Rotorstorm and Spinister. In the newsletter, also they gave us, some core recommendations. Amalgamous, which I think, being how they definitely attack very similar to Sentius, Magnus, and Malice, Amalgamous definitely would work well on them because I have Amalgamous on my Sentius, Magnus. They also recommended Alchemist because Alchemist does do some healing. These guys are both gunners, which generally have low amounts of health. So if you have Alchemist on there, whatever damage they do returns into health. So whether they're causing damage from their normal attack or from their ability attack, Alchemist will give them health. So these guys would actually be very good with Alchemist. Yeah, and I think somebody mentioned, hey, they're like gunner class helicopters, and yeah, they are. And but we've seen it before. You got Vortex on the Decepticon as a gunner class helicopter, and you have Skyburst on the Autobots. While not officially gunner class, she's special class. She's a gunner and a helicopter. So we already have Alpha Bravo is a gunner class helicopter. So we've already seen a few helicopters that are gunner class, and I think it fits because they do hover. They don't have to fly out into battle like Storm Clash does. So yeah, pretty cool. And let's see, what else did I say we were going to do? I said we were going to try these guys out, right? So I've got the little disclaimer up there that this is on the test server because I do not have Metroplex on my main account yet, but there he is standing watch over the base. And of course, Rotorstorm is not released yet. But here he is on the squad. This is basically the Wreckers. I already had this squad lined up because when Blur came out with all of the Wreckers, and Rotorstorm has been associated with the Wreckers. They mentioned it in his bio. And if you happen to read the comic Last Stand of the Wreckers, Rotorstorm actually was in that comic. He was one of the new recruits for the Wreckers. So I would totally expect to see him show up on the Wreckers section of the little collection area. I suppose we could have looked at his information first, but let's go in and go see his. Let's go see him in action. Okay, so I have him leveled up to level 51 and ability level 8. So, of course, he's going to have the support of Metroplex, but let's go in here and deploy. See him in action just by himself at first. So there he goes, standard gunner attack. So let's go ahead and fire off his ability. So you can see he's just completely sending off rockets like crazy. But they call it Rocket Cascade. And it's kind of a barrage, but the Cascade is because he does, anytime you destroy something, you do more damage with the rockets. So there you go. So that was pretty good first run. And so now he goes and now he's attacking that. And there you go. You kind of get the idea. Last time I tried this, he was not able to solo, so I don't think it will be able to do that this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop everybody else in here. And he does have a pretty decent range too. send Blur over here. We'll send him farther in. Yeah, so now the other bots ended up clearing out the path that he was going to head down, so he got stuck behind that wall there. so there you go. So that's basically Rotorstorm in a nutshell. I like him personally. I'm hoping to get the 4-star out of this. He's definitely a good bot to have. So let's go find him in here. Again, ignore the slew of 5 stars and maxed bots. This is the test account, as you can see across the top. So there he is. Thought it was funny that I ended up at 1776, an important date in United States history, at least. So there he is. He's got his double gun with the yellow on it. They've got them stacked together on my figure. I have them kind of wrist mounted on one on each arm, but stacking them together like they show in the game here is definitely an option. And there he is in helicopter mode. Oh, look at that! They even got the fake cockpit on the bottom. So if you're familiar with these figures, each leg is a full cockpit, but the helicopter only needs one. So the way it transforms is one leg becomes the actual cockpit, and the other one gets tucked up underneath like this. So the fake cockpit kind of sits underneath. Although I think it faces backwards on the toy, and they've got it facing forwards here. But hey, good enough. I do like that they actually got that in there and left the fake cockpit on the bottom of the helicopter. Nice touch, really nice touch. And here he goes, transforming back. Nice little flip, and he's ready again for action. And here's a look at his stats. So again, level 51, this ability 8, so he does 527 damage per second with his ability. This, of course, could be enhanced if you threw on some power cores or a combat bot. So you can certainly, because he is a gunner, you can use any of the gunner class combat bots. You could use like a Crater Maker or which is a Decepticon, or Flak, or you could use Top Shot or Fire Line. Glitch and Gator Face, I think, was also recommended because they tend to keep them a little bit farther back. Similarly, I think, what is it, Sights and Top Heavy, I think, also tends to keep them a little bit farther, give them more of a range, so they're a little bit farther back, so it might not take as much damage while still providing some gunner support. So all things to think about if you when you're thinking about equipping your combat bot. So just so you can see here, of course you can see the universal ones like Air Razor, Dial, Night Stalker, Rat Trap. You can put any of those on there. Roadburner also, Stripes. Oh wow, there's so many universal ones. Fire Drive. Does anybody really like Fire Drive? But yeah, there's Flak and Top Shot, and I guess I didn't get all of the I must have been out of the not getting all of the playtesting loads when these other ones were coming out. There's Glitch. So there's that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Flormus Prime says, feel like Rotorstorm should have 2 guns in his hands. Well, because he's a gunner, I think, is why they decided to stack them. So if we go back over here, so you can see how I have him kind of wrist mounted, the 2. But they are made where you can, either one can stack on top of the other one, and then he can certainly hold it in his fist. So here's more kind of what they have in the game. It's cool. I get it. It's fine. I prefer it kind of wrist mounted. And Spinister here, I have one wrist mounted. I have one in his hand. Mostly, I have the one wrist mounted because I usually have him partnered with Singe here, because Singe is one of his original Target Master partners. Because Spinister was a double Target Master, and he came with Singe, and the other one was Hair Splitter, who now goes by Shroot. I do have Shroot, but he's packed away somewhere, so otherwise I'd have him double wielding. Naturally, of course, you're not going to put Shroot on Spinister in the game because Shroot is now a healing type of a combat bot, and Spinister doesn't do any healing. I don't think we even have Singe in the game yet. But yeah, so that's how I usually have my Spinister. He's got Singe over there. One of his guns is on his wrist, the other one in his hand. So, but yeah, there you go. There's those guys. Yeah, gotta love the name Hair Splitter. Bricks Motion says it's been 3 years since I got a 4-star from a chance event. No joke, during the Gnaw event. Yeah, I can't tell you. Tiger Hawk, I think, is the last time I got a 4-star. Probably, I think the only time. No. I always forget because it was so early on. It was actually like an individual event where you kind of went through the prestige. You got the chance crystals. RC was my first 4-star, and I got her from like the 8th crystal. I know that because I only managed 8 prestiges, and she was like on the 8th crystal that I got, and got the 4-star. Didn't even get the 3-star RC at the time. And then after that, Tiger Hawk, I think, was the only other one that I got as a 4-star. So yeah, it doesn't happen very often. Are they part of a combiner? These guys are not part of a combiner that I've ever seen. Well, there is a version of Spinister out there that was released by the Transformers Collectors Club during one of their subscription services. It was like the second to last one, I think. And they used an Alpha Bravo mold and colored him as Spinister, and he was part of the combiner known as Thunder Mayhem. There was a Bludgeon as the core, and the others were part of the Mayhem Attack Squad. You had Bludgeon, you had Spinister, you had Ruckus, with going by the name Grabuge, I think, was the name Windsweeper, and oh, it's coming to me. Needle Nose. So you had those 5 bots combined into a bot called Thunder Mayhem, and the combiner mode head was of Thunderwing. Very cool. It was a very cool set. I have it. It's over in the other room. But that was really just a collector club thing, and even in the comics, that wasn't a thing. That was really just for basically for that subscription service set. Rotorstorm did joke in the last Stand of the Wreckers. He did joke about being a combiner. It's of course that was like the last joke he ever made. But yeah. Oktar says I'm the Washington Generals in these events. Yeah, I hear that. Quentin Hagar, welcome. How do I know all this off the top of my head? Yeah, usually I don't do enough research. Too often I come here and I say I should have done some research. No, this stuff I did actually know. And the reason I know about that subscription service, like I said, I have it. It's over in the other room. And as I also said, Spinister is one of my characters I have an affection for. So I definitely am more acutely aware of anything involving Spinister. The only other figure, other than the G1, the Siege one, the Collector Club one, and I do have one other Spinister. It was a little Target Master bot that I want to say it came with Nemesis Prime, like even pre-Combiner Wars, it was like the Generations Thrillings 30. It was like a little recolor of Optimus Prime, but in black as a Nemesis Prime, and that came with a little tiny helicopter, and they colored it kind of purple and they called it Spinister. I want to say there was a couple of others out there, but I didn't get them. Yes, Fix is like, yeah, the other room. Yeah. If I had all my Transformers in this room, Fitz, I wouldn't fit. Let's just say that's why I have to have an other room. Yeah, Red Alert's saying he remembers the last time of the records, his joke didn't go over too well. It didn't end well. Oktar knows too. Yeah, PV2, that's the other one I was thinking of, the Hunt for Decepticon. I have Tomahawk and I have the Springer version of that toy. They did do a Spinister of that as well. I don't happen to have that particular figure. That's the only other one that I can think of that there might have been. I would say the reason I don't have that is I was not back into Transformer collecting when that came out. So there was a pretty large gap from my time enjoying G1, and then I was out of Transformers pretty much, you know, being the cool kid or whatever. You know, I just kind of outgrew it, and it didn't stick with me for whatever. And then right around when the movies came out, when the Bayformer movies came out, I started kind of really enjoying it again, but I didn't start getting back into collecting until around Dark of the Moon, and then it's just completely exploded. So anything that came out before Dark of the Moon, especially like on the Collector Club exclusive type of side, I missed it. I've picked up a few things since then. Like I've definitely picked up quite a few alternators. I do remember seeing alternators on the shelves and thinking, like, wow, those are cool, I want to get them. But I convinced myself that, no, I have to be more responsible with my money. I can't be buying toys. And you know, honestly, it might have been true at the time. But I've definitely gone back and gotten quite a few alternators, including the Rodimus Prime. I'm pointing back there because you can actually kind of see him right here. I haven't quite got him anywhere, so I did recently just pick this guy up with the Black Friday deal. The Rodimus alternator. So. Yeah, Overlord did enjoy his own. You could let out a little heh. and then the bloodbath ensued. Alright, so I'm going to move these guys out of the way because I'm going to be taking up most of the space here on my little display area. Okay, so I've talked about this guy a lot. He was one of the things I was looking for at TFCon. I wanted him so bad, and when they announced him at TFCon 2019, I was there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get that, it looks so cool. And then I just completely missed out on him. I think the deal was I wasn't right there immediately when it was announced, and then by the time I got to it, the pre-orders were all sold out like everywhere. So I just resigned myself. I guess I wasn't going to get them. And then recently, I started looking to see, well, maybe I can find him again. You know, I know I'll have to pay a late tax, and but still, it was very difficult to find. No sign of him at all anywhere at TFCon a couple months ago. But then I started looking. I was, you know, Black Friday comes around. I look at all the sales, and he was listed on TF Source on their sale list. It wasn't a sale. They just showed him as the price. But I'm glad they did because I saw him there. Price is a little steep. It's more than I wanted to pay. But I looked around and couldn't find any other places that really could have got him for less, except for some like eBay. I might have been able to get him for less, but then the shipping took him more than what I found him at TF Source, or it would have been real close, and I wasn't like. I think AliExpress had them, but I would have only saved a little bit, and the arrival date would have been like in February sometime, and I just never used that site before, and I didn't really quite trust it. So I went ahead and went in on the one on TF Source. He came in Saturday, I think, and I immediately started having regrets and have resigned and have said that I need to get control of my Transformer spending, because it's just too many impulses or whatever. I was already thinking that before I got them, but I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make this the last irresponsible purchase. So finally, he's a heavy one. Fans Toys FT44 Thomas, aka Astro Train, and I haven't even transformed him yet. He is just so gorgeous in this mode. Very heavy, a lot of die cast. I got him out of the package and I immediately loved him. It's so beautiful. The back cleans up pretty well, as much as you might think a guy who turns into both a space shuttle and a train would. One of the cool things about it is he does have this little chest crest, but you just kind of pop it off, and then you have more of the cartoon accurate look. And this is the look I generally prefer. Is this Rip Hoist's wallet? Yeah, indeed. How much did I pay for him? You ask. Well, let me just go. I will say this. The only figure that I own that costs more is Unicron. Only Unicron in my collection. Only Unicron costs more. Not counting combiners, which is a cost of multiple figures put together. Some of the combiners cost more, but for a single figure, only Unicron costs more. So it's more than really kind of more than I wanted to pay, but I wanted him very badly. So yeah. So this is. No, you're not even seeing. So there you go. So this is kind of how I wanted to kind of have him there. But yes, so this, it does fold up, but it doesn't fold completely up. So, I mean, they've got markings here, makes you think it's going to be the tail, but it's really not, because the tail is already, here, kind of hanging off his back, and I think the other part of it is here in his chest. So this is not acting as his tail, so why they did that, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you just kind of plug that on there. It's a pretty secure when you do actually put it on there. Now, just for comparison,
fuel cells.
Yeah, he's big. Oh yeah, he's big. Unless he's reissued, he'll only go up in price. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy is one of the reissues, because I mean he came new in the box, sealed and everything like that. I'm not sure what the PS5 is going for, because I knew that I'm never in on the consoles right away because they're hard to get. The only one that I did is the Wii. I actually stood in line on launch day for the Wii. But other than that, no. So here's my G1 Astro Train, who has seen better days. I've got his little bow tie out. Even back in the day in G1, I would usually fold up his tail and transform him to be more cartoon accurate. Even back in G1, this is usually how I had my Astro Train. And just keeping the whole Astro Train theme going, here's the one I got at TF Con. This is the Mechanic Studios Steel Ambition. So you can see he's a really good one too. I like this figure a lot, and he's actually about the same size as the G1 if he were to actually stand up properly. And old Thomas here, he is replacing my stand-in that I've had for years. I'm trying to bringing him around here. This is the Toy World Evilla Star, and the one that I got is actually, I think it was some kind of an exclusive edition that came in these colors. The original one was more of the the G1 colors where it's kind of like white. But I like the cartoon colors with the dark gray. So I happened to find this guy many years ago. It was probably good 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, he came out about the same time as Chigurh, like PBG was saying. I did not like Chigurh because just going by the pictures, Thomas has really accurate alt modes. And while I'm not a huge fan of the bot mode as far as the likeness for Astro Train on him, his alt modes are fantastic. He's got a great looking space shuttle mode and a great looking train mode on this guy, whereas Chigurh was way too stylized. So I absolutely was not on board with Chigurh. So between the two of them, I chose this guy. But I am very happy to be able to replace him with Thomas. So many Astro Trains. Well, everybody knows my favorite character is Hot Rod. And got the question, who's your favorite Decepticon? And I had to think about it. Who was my favorite Decepticon? Oh yeah, I totally forgot. I do have Siege Astro Train. I could have brought him out too. Just completely forgot. I've got a couple of Astro Trains, but Siege Astro Train's pretty good too. But yeah, so who was my favorite Decepticon? I had to think about it because it wasn't really something that I thought about, and just kind of kept a little sticky note in my brain that this is my favorite Decepticon. But when I thought about it, it came down. It's like it's got to be Astro Train because I always loved this figure. The reason he's in such terrible shape is because he's well loved. I transformed him back and forth all the time, and then I ended up working in the space shuttle program, so that just helped me have more of an affinity for any space shuttle transformer, any transformer that has a space shuttle alt mode, and Astro Train obviously has that. Skylinks as well, Blast Off, and I've got that GoBot, the action robo is the shuttle robo. I think the name was Space C when they were GoBots. So I've got that one there. So yeah, I've got if it's got a space shuttle alt mode, I'm going for it. I've got lots of other space shuttle stuff. In fact, I got the Lego, that big Lego space shuttle set. I haven't built it yet, but I made sure I had to get it. Even if it takes me years before I have space enough to build it, I wanted to have it. So yeah, so I see some of you guys sounding off in there. Brick's Motion say favorites are Mirage and Reflector. Go ahead if you haven't already. Go ahead and who's your favorite Autobot? Who's your favorite Decepticon? Let's see what you guys think. So there's Titan's Return Astro Train. I wasn't a big fan of that because it's kind of the same thing with Chigurh. The alt modes were just they're not the classic or whatever. But I mean it's fine for what it is. Classics. I never had the Classics Astro Train because that came out before I started getting into it. Getting back into collecting, and I almost tried to chase it down, but I couldn't find it, and they were wanting too much money, and just never got it. And it's fine. It wasn't the Astro Train that I remember from G1. I know I'm sounding like a G1er here for right now, but come on. Oktar is saying Oktar is by far the best con. Yeah, I can see that. Bricks Moses says Astro Train is a close second. Smokescreen is a close second for the bots. Super VH doesn't play favorites. PB2 favorite con is Dirtbag. Favorite bot is Bulkhead. I like that. Gem on Red Alert, Jetfire, and Skywarp. I should have known that one. If I had a gun to my head, I'm sure I could have guessed that. PB2 says favorite con fluctuates from time to time. Cool. Bricks Motion says, I'll design you a transformable Astro Train and send you instructions. That would be really cool. I'm not sure where to get bricks. If you with the instructions, if you tell me where to get bricks too, that would be great. I would love that. Have you ever done a triple changer before? That might be hard. Probably be a fun challenge for you though. I bet. Lord Monk says Mirage and Skywarp. Cool. Fitz19 says Grimlock and Starscream. Damon Swinky says Jetfire and Starscream. RB Blade says Blades and Bruticus. Bulkhead's Hobbies. Bulkhead, you probably could have guessed that one. And Thundercracker. Cool. Autobot Phil, favorite Autobot is definitely Hot Rod. Alright. Definitely not exactly sure to say for the Decepticon. Is it cheating to say Devastator? No, it's not. It's actually absolutely not cheating to say Devastator. Fitz19's favorite combiner is Volcanicus. Got all the parts from Bricklink. Okay, I'll have to look that up. I've only ever built sets. I've only ever built Lego sets. So I haven't ever done the whole buying individual bricks. So I'll look into it. A Red Alert brick figure? I think he did one. If you go look in the stream submissions chat and flip through, I left them all up there. I think there was a Red Alert one in there. I should have grabbed that. I should have grabbed it. Yeah, so there's a alt mode at least. There's a sideswipe and a Red Alert. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, I should have grabbed that one. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull this up. I haven't done this in a while. Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me a moment. So here we go. So there's his Red Alert. There were so many. I clearly missed this one because I remember seeing this at first and thinking, oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna need to put this one in the slide. So that's very cool. He's even got the sparks on his head from the Auto Berserk, I think, episode. Yeah, really cool. Definitely, like I said, go check out the stream submissions channel on Discord if you're on there. It's so very cool. Oktar is asking, am I planning to do a review and transformation video on Thomas? Probably not. Just because I haven't ever done a masterpiece review, especially or with transformation. I've done a couple of third parties, I think, but if I did, it would have to be with no transformation, because I tend to struggle with transformations, especially the complex ones, and I mean I can get it, but usually it involves me having it like like this, trying to do this, which doesn't work well when you've got to have it out like this behind a camera. It's far more difficult to try to do the transformations with something on camera, and so I'm going to say probably not. I mean, there's so many other things that I've been wanting to review that aren't even that hard, that I just haven't seemed to get to. I'm not going to say no, but I'll definitely say probably not. Hey, Hell Hasbro Reviews, good to see you, Deluxe. Thanks for swinging by. Somebody who does not have difficulty getting review videos out, Hell Hasbro Reviews. I swear every day that guy's got another video out, and they're great. They're great reviews. So if you haven't gone over to Hell Hasbro Reviews and subscribed, go do it. The guy gets like almost everything, and he does a great job reviewing it. And definitely stick around to the end of his videos for some floor time fun. You won't regret it. It's good, always a good time with Deluxe. See, Quentin Hager's chiming in, says Jazz and Megatron. Yeah, Scatman Crothers. Yeah, you know, obviously as a kid I didn't know about voice actors and all that stuff, but then you know, after I got older and started looking into it, and they said Scatman Crothers, and I saw who it was. I'm like, really? That was Jazz? Holy cool! Holy cow! That was cool. Fitz, don't worry about the alliance. If you got to be inactive, that's fine. I saw your post in Discord. I saw what happened. Red Lord says, dude, just transformed Planet X Snarl tonight for the first time in years. Yeah, I know what you mean. That guy's actually kind of scares me with all that transparent plastic on all of his stuff. I probably may have transformed him once or twice, and some things I just don't want to transform. You know, it's the transform just because they're scary. You don't want to break it, and you know, that's a nice thing I like about little figures like this is. You know, they're small. They're not super complex. They're pretty fun to transform back and forth, and you're not too worried about breaking it. But some other ones, it's if the transformation's not fun, then it's not. You know, then you know you get it in the mode that you want it that you want it in, so that it looks good, and then it sits on the shelf. I always like the figures that are simple to transform. Yeah, even Deluxe is saying, screw that Thomas transformation on camera. Yeah, like I said, I haven't even transformed him yet, but I can already tell just flipping through the instructions, it's not going to be a fun one to film. It might be okay to do, but it definitely would not be fun to film. RB Blade saying, yesterday I was chatting on Global arguing about which Transformers theme is the best, and he said Robots in Disguise 2015. He said it's not Robots in Disguise, it's Robots Eating Pies. Okay. A lot of people used to think it was like Robots in the Skies. Robots in the Skies. Which I can't say that I've ever thought about. I can't say that I ever thought that. But I can see how people would think that. Where's the next Transbots Menasor? I don't know. I haven't done it myself. I would say probably not. I can't imagine anything worse than that X Transbots Menasor. Yeah, and it's not so much that that transformation was that bad. I mean, it all got in place. The thing that really makes me mad about that Menasor is that he's too top heavy. When you put the Motor Master figure in there, he's just so full of diecast, which makes that figure itself great, but it's terrible for the combiner. And he doesn't even really do anything for the combiner. You basically just fold him up into a box and shove him in the back. So it's almost like you want to do like they pull a Carnage in C minor and just get everybody else on the combiner mode and set Gravestone, the Motor Master, off to the side. Yeah. Yes, Fitz19, that's what I was saying. Robots in the Skies. So. Bricks Motion says, going to be lazy and repaint Sideswipe into Hot Rod, but my friends would go crazy. That'd be pretty cool. I've seen some people do the digibashes. They find a Lamborghini and they'll you know, digitally edit some flames and an Autobot logo on there to turn that Lamborghini into Hot Rod. So yeah, that might be pretty cool if you were to take a Sideswipe and repaint it as a Hot Rod. That might be pretty cool. Big Bronze Room says, I never transformed Fans Toys RC and never will. Yeah. I've never transformed. I have two Masterpiece versions of Megatron. I have the official Masterpiece, and I have Make Toys Desperatron. I have never transformed either one of them. Partly because they look to be complex. Partly because they turn into just a giant gun, and I got them for the bot mode. I don't really care about the gun mode, so they're fine being in the bot mode on my shelf. Have a good one, Oktar. I'm trying to think if there's any others that I haven't transformed for any various reasons, other than ones that don't transform. I only Perfect Effect Warden, the Fortress Maximus that came out a while ago. I think I transformed him once into his alt mode, which really was just turning him into like a box and then sticking his backpack with his treads on him. And I was like, okay, that's not that great. And he has a head mode that you could use for G1 Fort Max. I don't think I ever transformed him into that because I don't have a G1 Fort Max to use him on. Despertron's quite difficult. Yeah. Kingdom Cyclonus might be the best from Kingdom. I agree with that. I'd have to go think about it. I've been trying to work on my top 10 list because last year my top 10 list came out like almost at the end of January. I want to try to get that done while still in this year. I've been picking the bots, and I've got way more than 10. I have way more than 10. But I don't know if I want to do like. There was a while it was like the top 10 of 2010, and then you would do the top 11 of 2011, top 12 of 2012, and so on and so forth. But then it started getting to the point where it's like, oh man, the top 18, the top 20, so this year would be like the top 21. And so it's like, well, right now I've got 21 picked out, I think. So, yeah, the rewind too. I was thinking about that just earlier today. I was getting prepped for the stream. I was like, ooh, got to do that rewind. I remember last year I said, it's like, oh, I'm going to keep up with it and do all throughout the year instead of doing it all at the last minute. Yeah, that happened. No. I may have done one. But I don't think I even did the one. That's fine. I've been keeping track in my spreadsheet of when things came out, though, so I don't have to go do all that research. I don't think, so... I'll have to think about when we're doing that again. Since we already know, Rotorstorm and Spinister are the last bots of the year, so I could probably start doing that. One thing I will say, and I probably should have said it earlier, there will be no stream next week because I won't be available. I can already tell you that. No stream next week. I hope to have something recorded that I'll release during that time, so like you can still get together and, well, I won't do a premiere because I won't be able to do the premiere either. But I'll post it at least. So if you got me penciled in Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, I'll try to have something there for you. But it's definitely not going to be a stream. So I'll put out the word, the normal route, normal locations for people to know. Are they making another series after Kingdom? Almost certainly. Probably not necessarily in Netflix, because they've kind of got, that was a whole War for Cybertron trilogy. Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom, that was a whole trilogy of toy line and a trilogy of shows. The new line is called Legacy. I don't know if it's going to have any kind of show or anything related to it. I can't think I've heard of any kind of TV show associated with it, whether Netflix or otherwise. I'm looking forward to some of the toys, though. I really like that bulkhead. RC looks pretty good. Shoulder pads Prime. That stuff all looks cool. Unless a figure comes in alt mode, don't usually transform them. I try to transform everything at least once, even if it comes in alt mode, because I like to, I like taking pictures just for records. At the very least, I like to get a picture of it in bot mode, and then it's alt mode or modes if it's got more than one, and then I'll get it back in bot mode, and that's usually what it is. That's usually how I'll do it. I'll tell you a couple of bots that I'm not going to transform anymore. Those little X-Trans bots, Boost and Hatch. Oh, terrible transformation. I mean, they're good-looking little bots in both modes, but the transformation is just not fun. No crystal cracking RB blades. I basically took last weekend off and didn't do a whole lot, so I had really no crystals worth holding on for a crystal cracking. Yeah, they're definitely awful. I'm glad I got them because I've got them. They're filling the hole on my masterpiece shelf for a wind charger and a tailgate. Beyond that, no, I'm done transforming them. Gotta see Thomas in train mode. Not gonna happen tonight, I'm afraid. I'll work on getting the. It's funny. I was wanting him so bad, waiting for him to come in, and he showed up super early on Saturday. It was like he was on my doorstep at like 7:30. I couldn't believe how early he arrived. I grabbed him and got him in here, got some pictures of him, and then proceeded to do other stuff for the rest of the day and the next day and all that stuff, and it just never got back to him. I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, I wanted this thing so bad, and then I got him, took him out, took a picture of him, and then promptly basically forgot about him. It's like, what's wrong with me? But I do every time I walk past this room, I look in here and just kind of stop for a second and look at him, because I am happy that I got him, but I'll get him transformed for sure. You want to see him in train mode? There you go. That's him in train mode, and I know that's not what you meant, but that's the best I could do for you now. The only thing that I did with him is when he came in the package, the wheels, the train wheels, were not up. They were actually tucked in. So the only thing I've done so far is I kind of slightly untransformed him. So that's what you had to do. I flipped these up to give him his shoulder wheels. That's all I've done. He's got such a presence there in bot mode. Oh, so something else I suppose I can mention is he came with a set of train tracks that also fold into this little stand for shuttle mode. I could tell something was up with these tracks because they came in the package in an L. And then you can kind of see other places where it folded out. But this all will lay flat, so it could be train tracks for displaying them in train mode. But then it's also like this little stand that you can unfold different parts and then have it be for that you can set the shuttle up on top and have that be for that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Because like the Toy World one of Illustar, he came with a nice set of die-cast tracks, but I mean it's just tracks. That's all it is. But that's pretty cool that it does. It actually folds into a stand for shuttle mode too. So that's a really neat touch. Did I get Legacy Black Zarak? No. For one, I have enough Titans that I don't have space for, and two, I have zero nostalgia connection to Black Zarak. So it may seem like I get a lot of stuff, and I do, but you know, I generally don't get things that don't have a nostalgic connection to it, or that is not like part of a current series, like Rotorstorm. I didn't know Rotorstorm from G1, but I did read Last Stand of the Wreckers, and I loved Last Stand of the Wreckers, and Rotorstorm was in Last Stand of the Wreckers, so I had to get a Rotorstorm. That's kind of how my mind works. Like even Starsaber, you know, Masterpiece Starsaber back over there. I had no connection to Starsaber whatsoever. He did show up briefly in the IDW comics, but it wasn't enough for me to get the Masterpiece. Then he showed up in Earth Wars, and I started liking Starsaber, and so now I've got that Masterpiece back there. I also have the Planet X, which is more of the IDW version, and of course I did go in on the HasLab. And thank you for the reminder, Alpha Trion. I did actually remember to bring it back here, but I completely forgot to show it off. So get this timestamp down for anybody who wants to go see it or whatever. But okay, so first off, it comes in a nice little carrying case. This is all part of the deal. You get this when you're done. When you're walking out, they give you this nice little carrying case. So it's got the I think that's kind of like the Jedi almost logo. It's meant to be like the lightsaber. So you got a really nice carrying case. Yeah, big bronze rim. He knows what that is, but you don't know how I made it. There we go. I chose the purple crystal, or rather the purple crystal chose me. So this is the, I went with the elemental nature. Got a Rancor tooth for the cap. And some kind of a whalebone, I think. I forget. The guy who was doing it, he came and inspected it, and he thought, oh, he's got a Rancor tooth, you got some kind of a bone. It's like, you like the calcium, don't you? I said, yes, sir. And then I just liked how the activator and these other little pieces, all the scroll work kind of went together. So I really like that. I did get a green Kyber crystal from Doc Ondar's up top after we got done. So I did get the green character crystal, but or Kyber crystal, but I got the purple. I don't think it's coming across as purple or not, but let me try something. I don't know if you can make out the sounds. So, yeah, you think I would choose green? Well, here's the thing. I knew they would have green in Doc Ondar's. I wasn't sure if they had purple. Turns out, yeah, any color you want they have up there, including a couple you cannot choose when you're building it. But I knew they would have green. I wasn't sure if they would have purple, and I wanted purple, so I got purple. So I built it with purple, but I did go up and get green, and basically, you can change the colors in here. So if you guys aren't familiar with it, yes, they have yellow, they have white, green, blue, red, purple are the ones they have. You can even get holocrons. You can get a Jedi or a Sith holocron, although the day I was there, all they had was Sith. They were completely out of the Jedi holocron because of the whole shipping things. But the way that if you're not familiar with it, it comes in, it's multiple pieces. You've got 2 end pieces, and you've got 2 little handle pieces here, and then you've got your activator switch here. It's 2 pieces together, and well, first of all, you can undo the. You can take the saber part off, so that you just have the hilt. And there is a little button on the sides. You can buy a little belt clip so that if you wanted to, you could kind of clip this in and you could walk around, with your lightsaber on your belt. And to change the crystal, you kind of gotta you just unscrew everything. So these are completely customizable. When you get to choose all of these parts. And I'm not sure how you get these off, actually. There we go. Well, I'll just take the one side off. So you get it all in there. So there's the purple kyber crystal. So if I were to have the green crystal, I could actually just pop this out, put the green crystal in there, and then my blade would be green, all with this single piece. You don't actually have you don't have to buy, if you want a different color, you don't have to buy a whole nother one of these things. You just got to buy the extra crystal, and then you can pop the one crystal out and pop the other one in. In fact, there's the crystal. Completely disassembled. Is the Darksaber available? No, not as part of this. They say that when you go into the Doc Ondars, which is the store, like the store up there where you can. Yeah, it's when you put the crystal in, it makes a little sound. Doc Ondars is the store where you can buy replica lightsabers, like you could buy Ahsoka's lightsaber, you could buy Luke's lightsaber, and things like that. And you could also buy these kyber crystals. So you can buy the red ones, and they say randomly packed inside the red crystal containers. Like every 20 or so, like 1 in 20 of them are actually black crystals. So like you have like the purple crystal, like you saw, you green, blue, yellow, white, red. Inside the red kyber crystal container is actually a black crystal. However, when you put it in the saber, it lights up red. The crystal itself is black, but it lights up red. The new Darth Maul Shadow Saber was just released. So there we go, all back together. I thought this was pretty cool. I like the Rancor tooth because it's kind of like an extra. It's like an extra weapon for you. So if, you're dueling with the saber or whatever, and then if you kind of get something blocked, you can kind of just get in there with the Rancor tooth to cause a little bit of damage or something too. Kind of like an extra little weapon on there. Besides, it just looked really cool. It's the most unique looking of all of them. So that's why I went with that. I mean, all of the other ones looked really cool too. This one just looked the most unique to me, so that's why I went with the elemental. So there you go. Thank you for reminding me, whoever it was reminded me. Alpha Trion, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love to have a stand. That would be pretty cool. Right now, I've mostly just been keeping it in the bag because I just don't know where else to have it. Looks like a saber tooth, tiger tooth. Yeah. I think those are probably a little bit longer and thinner, but they say it's They say it's a Rancor tooth, and Rancor is a Star Wars creature, whereas a saber-toothed tiger is not specifically Star Wars. I won't say it's not in Star Wars, but it's not specifically. There's 2 dark sabers, but not to build. Yeah, you can't build a dark saber. You think you can buy the extra metal parts that you didn't choose in the building? Oh, really? I didn't know. They didn't say you had the option. Maybe you can. I suppose if I asked, maybe I could have. But honestly, this is fine. I may do it again and choose one of the other sites. Oh, I totally forgot. They give you a little pin too, and you get it's a different pin depending on which of the 4 options that you choose. Whether you choose elemental or what is it, power and control, and which is the dark side one, and I forget what the others are. But there's 4 different themes that you can get. Each theme has you get a different pin. And so, first of all, in addition to being an additional souvenir, it also tells the people who get your parts for you. It tells them which parts to get for you. Oh yeah, another thing that happened during the build, one of the people chose the like the protection is one of them. Like it was very much a light side style, and one of the people who built that chose the red kyber crystal, and the guy who's in charge, you know, who leads it, he's like, really? I forget how he said it, but he was like, you put a red kyber crystal in that? Just most people, you know, stick with the power and control. Clearly the dark side saber, those get the reds, and all of the others get the other various colors. So it's just, yeah. So he's like a sneaky, he's a dark Jedi, I guess. Yeah, but it's pretty cool that you know, it's the based on the color of the crystal. And it's not literally the color of the plastic crystal. I'm pretty sure there's a chip inside there that the thing's reading to know what color to do. But it's pretty cool because when you don't have the blade in and you try to turn it on, it just kind of gives you like a failed ignition. You know? Just kind of gives you like a failed ignition, so it doesn't actually light up. So it's pretty cool. It's pricey, but when you consider it's nice and heavy, you know, it's nice heavy metal construction, and and plus you're paying for the experience too. When you consider everything that goes into it, it's not a completely unreasonable price. I mean, even the replica lightsabers themselves are almost as much. They go for what, about $150 to $170 or something like that. So the difference, you know, what makes these more is A, you get to choose, and B, the experience. So it's not a completely unreasonable price. It's a lot. But I mean, it was fun. It was great. I don't know about anybody else, but I mean, when I was in there, I was taking it serious. I mean, I wasn't like totally like, yo, yeah, I wasn't like super focused or whatever, but I was kind of like treating it with respect, you know. I was trying to be in the role play. I mean, I wasn't wearing Jedi garb or whatever. I was basically still kind of dressed like, you know, normal person or whatever. But I stood still, focused, quiet. You know, paid close attention, and just kind of really tried to be part of the experience instead of just saying, come on, let's get to the saber building, come on. No, I tried to really like take it in, and it really made a difference. It was so if you ever go do that, you know, give it some seriousness. Really kind of let yourself be a part of the experience. Don't just wait for the show before you can go build your stuff. Give it some seriousness. That's That's my recommendation. Skyward Greer, what's going on, buddy? Oh, it's not often our paths are able to cross with the whole you being from the future and everything. But always good to see drop in. I wish I could drop in on your streams more too. It just doesn't never seem to work out. So. Do they have helicopter sabers? You mean like the double-bladed? You can't build them. I'm not sure. I didn't really spend a lot of time looking at like the replicas, and I know those change from time to time. They may have had like a double-bladed at some point. You definitely can't build them. So. How am I coming with the toy hacks on Unicron? I posted that video a while back. Inquisitor ones? I'm not sure if they've put Inquisitor ones out yet. If they did do a double-bladed one, it would probably most likely be the Darth Maul. What happened to Alpha Prime and Trios Theory? They decided to do other things. That's all I can say. It happens. So sometimes life comes at you and you gotta go focus on other things instead of YouTube. And yeah, I've been pretty fortunate that I've been able to be pretty consistent for all this time. But I mean, as you see, I mean, even like the last 2 of the last 3 weeks or whatever, I wasn't able to stream because, you know, life comes at you fast, as they say in the commercial. So. Yeah, and I can speak from experience. When I first started out on YouTube, I was doing Transformer reviews, just, you know, toy reviews, and I wasn't real prolific posting them, and didn't get a lot of views. Wasn't getting many subscribers. You know, it's only around 100 some subscribers or whatever, so I wasn't getting a lot of views. And when you don't get a lot of views, you don't get a lot of subscribers. I mean, it's kind of discouraging, and it kind of makes you not really get excited to do the reviews and post stuff out there. Because I mean, it's a lot of work to do all that and put it out there, and then if nobody's watching it, you're like, well, what's the point? But then Transformers Earth Wars came along, and I was like, hey, you know, here's something that might be worth doing a video on. And so I did. And it did well. So I did another one. It did well too. Started pulling in people subscribing. I'm like, hey, this is actually working. So that's what I've been able to grow with. You know, Transformers Earth Wars really kind of grew my channel from just over 100 subscribers to where it is now. And I'm still trying to get back into doing some reviews, but it's just hard. I mean, you know. I mean, even when I was doing videos for Transformers Earth Wars, I wasn't super consistent when I was just doing videos, because it's work, and when it's a video, you feel a little more pressure to kind of not have mistakes and try to have a little bit better production quality or whatever. When you're live streaming, you guys know how live streams go. I know how live streams go. Things are going to happen. Things are going to go wrong. You're not working on a script, things like that, and so you're not really expecting perfection. You try to get as close to perfection as you can. You like to, you know, like I prepare slides. I try to plan for what I want to show off, with, you know, afterwards with the toy haul and stuff like that. You know, I improve the lights. I improve the camera. And try to make sure I have the background, all stuff like that. So I try to improve the production quality, but as far as, you know, is the music going to go crazy every now and then? Yeah. Am I going to get stuck frozen on a weird face every now and then? Yeah, you know, it's going to happen. But that's the nature of live streams. And another nice thing about live streams is, unless you're like a Twitch streamer where you after you're done with the live stream, you take the recording and then chop it up and then put up a YouTube video. But usually the guys who do that, they've got other people to do that for them. You know, they say, yeah, this part to here, go make that a video, and then they go off to do whatever else. I don't have a team. So when the live stream's done, I hit stop, and YouTube takes care of the rest, and then I get to move on with whatever else. So, yeah. Oh, PB2's out of here. Have a good one. You're probably gone already, but have a good night anyway. Still watching Transformers Armada on Tubi? Yeah, I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes of that, and I haven't gotten back to it. What I have been watching, though, is Hawkeye. Excellent show. Over on Disney Plus. Not talking any spoilers, but it's a great show. I know I say that about all the Marvel shows, but this one's probably... I almost want to say this one's probably the best one they've done so far. I mean, I like WandaVision. I like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I loved Loki. This one may be the best of all. You know, I don't know. I might still put Loki above it just because I really like Loki. But this one's definitely definitely better than WandaVision, and at least as good as Falcon and Winter Soldier, if not better. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it, Big Brunch Run. That's all I'm gonna say. You're gonna like it. Yeah, I can't wait for the next one. Oh. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is good. Yeah, I did end up watching that whole series there on Netflix a while back. I had watched the first couple of seasons or whatever, but then kind of went away from it. And then I went back and finished it on Netflix a little while back. So I was like, oh, I need to finish this from where it was, and I thought it was good. Probably the disappointing thing about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was I kind of wish it did tie into the larger MCU in the movies or whatever. I know the movies affected Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, but I don't think the show did anything to affect movies. It wasn't tied in as much like these new ones on Disney Plus are. These movies on Disney Plus are integrated with the movies. Things that happen in these Disney Plus shows affect what's going to happen in the movies. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was not that. Even the Netflix series like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, they were influenced by the movies, but not the other way around. They were not part of that. They were kind of just this side thing that didn't cross back over into the movies. The Disney Plus shows are... No, they're not. The Disney Plus shows are part into... back and forth. They're part of that whole thing. What happens in these Disney Plus shows is going to affect future movies. And I think that was pretty clear with Loki. If not any other show, I think Loki definitely made that perfectly clear. Heck, even the Falcon and Winter Soldier, what ultimately ended up happening at the end of that. So... Get Disney Plus for free with Verizon right now? Yeah, hey. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, if you can get it for free through some other service, that's fine. I've got HBO Max for free through my phone plan. And personally, I wouldn't even fault anybody if you're not somebody who wants to really subscribe to it if you're not as big of a fan of like Star Wars and Marvel and all the Disney movies and everything like that. If one of these shows comes out, say it's like, okay, just wait for the show to finish airing, and then subscribe for like a week or so, watch the show, and then drop your subscription. I got nothing against that. That makes sense. Me personally, I love almost everything Disney. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, and they've got all the Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Marvel. They got all the Marvel. And I like all the Disney stuff. I like all the Pixar movies and all the classic Disney movies. You know, I watch a lot of that stuff all the time. Even like in some of their, like they've got the series called Behind the Attraction, where they talk about the attractions at Disney World. I think that's fascinating. Talking about how all the design that went into like the Jungle Cruise and the difficulties they had getting the Tower of Terror going, and you know, so yeah, so I love watching all that stuff. So I am perfectly happy paying for an annual subscription for Disney Plus. But I understand not everybody's like me, you know, so I won't fault anybody if you want to just sign up briefly and go. I've considered doing that with what is it, the CBS one, because you know I like Star Trek. But I sure wasn't going to pay for a full subscription to go watch that Picard show. I still haven't gone back and done it, but I've considered maybe signing up for a month to go watch that Picard show and then end it, but I haven't yet. Want to see Spider-Man this weekend? I'm not sure when I'm going to see that. That's probably going to be the movie that pulls me back out to the theaters. I never went out to see Shang-Chi. I did eventually see it on Disney Plus. I didn't go out to see Eternals, but I think I'm probably going to make it out to see Spider-Man. I'm not going to want to wait for that one. Speaking of Disney Plus and movies that came out recently, Jungle Cruise is a really good movie. If you happen to be a Disney fan and you're a fan of the Jungle Cruise, the first 10 to 15 minutes are just like absolutely perfect. They even, because as you know, Jungle Cruise has a little corny jokes and things like that, and they definitely homage that in the movie. And I smiled, if not laughed, at you know, any of them that they threw in. Even later in the movie, they threw in a little bit, and I did really enjoy that Jungle Cruise movie. It helps that I'm a fan of Dwayne Johnson as well. So yeah. Yeah, I definitely had a good time watching the Jungle Cruise. And naturally, the next time we went to the Magic Kingdom, it was a requirement. We had to go on the Jungle Cruise, and we did. And so we got to see the backside of water in person. It truly is amazing. If you've never seen the backside of water, you really must go on the Jungle Cruise so you can go see it. Favorite movie on Disney Plus is The Lion King. I gotta ask, the original or the new live action one? I say live action because it's all still animated anyway. It just looks live action. Lion King, the original one, but I remember when it first came out, and oh man, I saw that movie. I can't tell you how many times I saw it in the theater. Then as soon as it was available on VHS, yes, VHS, I bought it. And this was right as I was kind of getting out of high school and starting to make my own money. One of the first things I got was a nice big stereo system with big booming speakers. And the first thing that I put in to listen to that was to try that out was The Lion King. And when it first starts out, they've got the elephants coming, you know, stomping as boom, boom. It was shaking the house. I loved it. You know, and then just the whole song, you know, it comes to a crescendo, and at the end, it's just ends with like a boom as it says The Lion King across it. Oh man, it was so amazing. Yeah, big fan of that original animated Lion King. I cracked up, and I still crack up every time Timon does the hula. What do you want me to do? Dress a dragon, do the hula? I'm laughing just thinking about it. Still have your VHS version? Yeah, I ended up getting rid of all of my VHS tapes in a garage sale many years ago. I had like, I want to say I had like, for whatever reason, 88 comes to my mind. And I had them all in a box. I was going to sell them for like $1 a piece. And some guy came up, says, how much for the whole box? And I was just like, I don't know, 50 bucks? He thought about it. Okay. Pulls out the money, walked away with the whole thing for 50 bucks. It's like, cool. There's no way I would have been able to sell. You know, some people be like, well, you just gave away $38. Yeah, no, I didn't. There's no way I would have sold 50 of those things. When Beast Wars Prowl deploys in the battle, sound effect must be Hakuna Matata. Oh, Blaze is saying he likes the live action. Okay, that's okay. Well, you know, here's the thing. You know, what Disney's doing all these remakes of the Lion King. They did a remake of Aladdin. They did a remake of Beauty and the Beast. And I gotta tell you, when I was watching these movies, when I was in the theater or watching it on Disney Plus, and I'm watching these things, I felt like such a G1er, like a Disney G1er. It's like, oh, this isn't as good as the cartoon. This isn't as good as the original. Oh, I can't believe they did that. That's not right. You know, they're ruining it. I'm sitting there thinking in my head. Not to the point that I couldn't enjoy it. I mean, they're good movies, but when you've watched the originals dozens of times and to the point where you have them memorized, and you go see them and they're doing something different, you're like. Especially when you have like a favorite part and they don't do the favorite part. And you're like, oh, come on! You know, so. Cruella was awesome, but here's the thing about Cruella. That was not just a remake of the 101 Dalmatians. Cruella was like a prequel, a story we didn't know about. So it wasn't redoing the 101 Dalmatians. It was a completely new movie. I gotta say, Maleficent is another one where it's a unique take. It's not actually, while they do cover the similar time period as Sleeping Beauty, it's a different take on the story. It's not just beat for beat. They basically they're the same up to a certain point. And then basically, it's like in Loki. It's a branch. It's a variant Maleficent. You know, they're down a completely different timeline in that. So I think that's one reason why that one kind of did well too. It's not, they're not trying to retell the exact same story. It's inspired by the original story, but it's different. You know. And yeah, William Mader Hackman, the same thing, kind of like Mulan. Mulan was a completely different movie than the original cartoon. Completely different. It told the same basic story, but it was so different that, and like from the very beginning, it was so different. You weren't thinking that, oh, they did the, you know, you're not even comparing them as you're going along. You just basically initially, oh, this is a different movie, and so that made Mulan pretty enjoyable as well. Yeah, you know, I can't say if I've watched many of the Lion King sequels. The first one is just that's That's the one that I really always go back to. I mean, I loved it so much. I went and bought the Lion King soundtrack. They even had a sequel for the soundtrack. It was music inspired by the Lion King. I even bought that, and that's got some excellent music on it too. I used to listen to that stuff nonstop in my CD player, my one disc Discman. God, I'm old. Oh my, look at the time. Oh, it's been fun, but I think it's probably time to start wrapping things up. Any last minute things you guys got to say? Alphatron saying, stay safe, Hoist DeLoreans. Till next Wednesday. To roll out is the way. Yes, indeed. Should have swapped my hat. Put my Mandalorian hat on. Yeah, no stream next week. I'll put the word out in the. I'll post the community post and put the word out in the Discord, and so. Plus, anybody who doesn't get the word, they'll figure it out when they come by at 8 o'clock and they don't see a stream. Yeah. So I'm just. I already know I've got other engagements to do next Wednesday, so I just can't do it. Like I said, I'll try to have something available, like I'll try to have like a video to post for that time. No promises, but I want to do it, so keep a lookout for that. And yeah, I guess that's going to do it. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends. See you next time.